reveals 15 ways Nigerian Electoral Commission (Inec) allegedly plans to rig 2023 presidential election. A non-governmental organization, International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law, has revealed 15 ways the Independent National Electoral Commission (Inec) allegedly intends to rig the 2023 presidential election. The group segmented the alleged rigging plans into two: during voters' registration and during the election proper. Intersociety stated this in a statement issued on Wednesday titled 15 Ways of Citizens' Disenfranchisement and Presidential Election Rigging Unmasked. The statement was signed by the chairman of the board of Intersociety, Emeka Umeagbalasi, alongside two other principal officers, Chinwe Umeche and Chidinma Udegbunam, respectively. According to the group, INEC will not conduct free, fair and credible elections in 2023 as the electoral body has already started the rigging plans by disenfranchising Nigerians through irregularities in the ongoing nationwide Continuous Voters Registration (CVR) exercise. The alleged rigging plan, according to the group, involves shrinking delineation of constituencies, registration and voting centers targeted at a particular ethno-religious group on the grounds of their tribe or religion. Inadequate manpower and machines for registration, malfunctioning of registration/voting machines, and clandestine creations of registration and polling centers across borders for capturing of aliens as registered voters in Nigeria, with intent to artificially outpopulate other members of the legitimate population and manipulate the demographic and electoral figures. Non-issuance or discriminatory issuance of PVCs to registered voters on the grounds of the ethnicity or religion, registration of minors and aliens as voters with intent to roguishly outpopulate other legitimate members of the general population, official padding on continuous basis of the voting figures of particular ethno-religious members of a segment of the general voting population with intent to continuously outpopulate others and rig elections, particularly for the presidential poll, in favor of the appointing authorities or institutions or favored another. Organized violence against individuals or groups of citizens seeking to be captured or registered as voters or voters proper so as to massively disenfranchise them on grounds of their tribe and religion. On the alleged plan for the election proper, the group alleged that INEC and the ruling All Progressives Congress have planned to militarize election arenas so as to frighten voters and scare them on the grounds of tribe and religion. It identified the other alleged methods to involve instigation of group violence and other coordinated attacks against members of another voting population on the grounds of their faith and tribe for purpose of rigging them or their candidates out, system paddling up of voting figures and inflation of results to favor another. System program failure of voting, capturing machines targeted at opposition, strong-held areas for purpose of mass disenfranchisement of members of the affected voting population, application of strict procedures in southern Nigeria during voters registration and PVC distribution and relaxation of the same, including use of proxies such as district heads in the north. Application of strict procedures during the presidential election in the south and relaxation of the same, including use of manual voting protected by the group, militancy using radical ethno-religious groups, and security forces in the north. Wow. This is very detailed. I think if this were to be an argument in court, this is enough, more than enough. It's very, very detailed. They have literally, we went through 15 ways this group has revealed INEC would allegedly, apply in order to rig the elections. 15, that is a lot of ways. Looking at the details, all the details have to do with, it's funny because most of the reasons, their grounds are on ethno-religious basis, and That is not a good look. It is really not a good look. But I mean, Nigerians would not be surprised that they would go through any lengths. I mean, and for the fact that they also mentioned the use of military, that is big. One person here opined, INEC for long has been one of the major problem and chief rig of elections in Nigeria. In every election, they have their own candidate. They are not even different from the party delegates, but this time around, the way things are going, if INEC is not careful, they will collect from the youth. Number one, the replacement of the CJN Don Dale. They have started it already. In Kuje Area Council here, in Abuja, the moment you say you're a Christian, they will listen to you. I heard from a reliable source. Wow. Yeah, I mean, again, this is not surprising. I think Nigerians they understand what the electoral process is like. I mean, it's happened since our democracy. We know what the cycle is like. We know what phase would bring out a certain result, or what a phase, or how intense a phase would be. Now we're entering into the campaigning phase, and this is where, the money now. This is where, the big boys will show that they have funds to go for their campaigns, and I think this is where we will actually see how intense or how competitive it will be. However, I mean, we haven't even got into where we're going to vote, and Into Society issued this and saying 15 ways. I mean, there are probably more than 15 ways. However, I think it also allows us to even have a conversation about INEC. And if anything, as citizens, I mean, there must be a right somewhere where we can also question INEC and say, is this the body that we want to collate votes and decide who will be president? I mean, how can it's a different thing, it's a different thing to question the character and the reliability of applicants or presidential aspirants. It's a different thing questioning the character and reliability of INEC. In fact, that is the bigger issue. Do you know what? I think we have this has just come to mind. We have focused so long on presidential aspirants that we have forgotten how important INEC also is. If anything, INEC could have been a situation where they are being where they may look like the power, but they aren't really the power, because those that have the power are oppressing them and making sure that, INEC, you're on my side. Because then we have to, how do we also make sure that those that are running INEC do not have any affiliations with the political parties that are running? You can never really know that. However, we should have grounds that should prove consistent. If there's a character check or reliability check, it should be on INEC, and it should be as frequent as possible for us to know that, this body has proven in so many times, with so many cases that are closed or reopened or just even look fishy, INEC has not been the most reliable. So I think as much as we're focusing on 3 candidates, which is not a lot, we should also focus on INEC as well. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.